Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Around the Felt. We got a big action-packed episode tonight. We're going to be recapping some of the biggest storylines from this past weekend's game for Week 16. Then we're going to be taking a deep dive into Week 17 because, we are recording on a Monday night, but we got 3 Christmas games, and they also have 2 games on Saturday. So we're like, hey, let's just do one major episode. We normally record on Wednesday nights for our predictions. That's Christmas Eve, so we have families. We're the family first podcast. As much as we love all you guys, we want to spend it with our families. But Colin, how you doing? I see you're in Daddy's basement right now. So
when you put it that way, it is a little weird. But I am back in the hometown in the basement of my father's household. So
I think, yeah, like I said, Daddy's basement, no different.
Yeah, when you put it that way, just
makes say it
sound a little weird. Reagan, how did you do in your fantasy semifinals this past weekend? Besides the matchup where you beat
so
me,
I beat you in one. Well, unless Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, you're currently up 0.7, and I have McCaffrey in a full point PPR. So as long as something drastic doesn't happen, I won that one. But it's looking like I'm going to go.
My quarterback was Lamar Jackson, who exited. So
right, and I had Mariota as well, who exited. So that evens that out.
Yeah, but your quarterback exited because he sucked
and got injured. But regardless, I beat you. That's here nor there. Just domination once again. But the good news is you'll get a crack at me in the other league. We're playing each other in the championship next weekend.
We are. I had to take care of the dirty laundry in Big G. Garrett, our graphics guy, the dirty laundry had to get taken care of. Poor guy, man. Never even had a chance. We really just went belt to ass on Big G. So
all right.
191 to like 110.
That's why big brothers are here to protect their little brothers. So don't worry. I'll take care of the bad man. Yeah, I went 3-2 in money leagues. So, the nice thing is I was in the semis and all of them, and all those leagues have third place pots. So at the very least, even the 2 I lost, and they'll still be setting a lineup next week trying to get those third place prizes, which are like all buybacks, which seems like found money when it's fantasy football. It's like you invest that money, it seems like a whole new set of cash coming in, even though it really is just your money back when you think about it.
Yeah, especially if you win. I know our big league, the hometown league, CFFL, we have the Califon Fantasy Football League, for those that don't know. But that's a 150 buy-in, 12-man, so that's a big pot. So if you win that, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, trust me, I understand how it works. I've done it the past 2 years. But
yeah, I went 2-1 in my fantasy semifinals. Of course, the loss was a loss.
Yep. Okay.
And the South Park Dynasty, I'm the defending champ. I beat you in the championship last year, so you can call it even to some regard in the postseason there. And then I advanced, of course, in CFFL. We're playing each other in the finals. And then my work league, we fucking went belt to ass and put up the most points scored in the league yet again. And that's with losing Henderson to the concussion in the second quarter. I didn't even need him. Still blowout.
Who do we beat?
It's a coworker, man. I'm not throwing coworkers' names out on the pod, but
Smart,
it was a coworker.
This guy has good media training. Look at this. You got a good PR team at your job.
Yeah.
Look at that. I was a reporter trying to set you up. I was trying to set you up there as a reporter. This guy's PR trained. There you go. That's great.
But it was another belt to ass. So even if I don't have Henderson,
Chad, since it's
yeah, I beat up on Chad, and even if I don't have Henderson next week, I did pick up Ramondre 3 weeks ago as a total handcuff just in case move, and it might pay out big dividends in the finals if I could just plug in Ramondre against the Jets.
In my one best ball league, I might advance, and which would be nice because that's then I get 250 just for making it to the finals, and I can really make some money. I'm currently up by 7, and the kid behind me has JT and Jennings, but it's really 12 because his flex right now is 5 points, so he would need 12.1 from either Juwan Jennings or Jonathan Taylor to pass me, which probably will happen.
Taylor seems likely.
It does, but it's hard to say. I think Taylor has a good game, but it's also listen, we'll see what happens, really. We'll see what happens. But I could see him not scoring and going for 100 yards and, on no catches and 30 touches. And it's damn, pure volume, got a lot of yards, but didn't matter. It's really the touchdown for either guy probably kills me, but we'll see.
If it makes you feel any better, I took JT anytime tonight, so I believe he's going to score.
Does not make me feel better.
All right, man. Let's go through some news here. We have some pretty sad news, a lot of injuries this week, and then we have some suspension news, which is always fun to talk about. We're going to start with some injury, though. Quinshon Judkins, the very promising rookie running back for the Cleveland Browns, dislocated his ankle and broke his fibula. So it's essentially the same injury that Cam Scadaboo had for the Giants. Luckily, they were checking out the knee. There's no structural damage to the knee, which is massive for Judkins and his recovery. It looks like a brutal injury. Same thing with Scadaboo, but it's really only a 6-month recovery. So Judkins will be ready to roll for 2026. But of course, if you have him in fantasy like I did in 3 leagues, tough blow for a guy that I was pretty content with in my flex spots.
Yeah, it is a tough blow, and you hope he's recovers well and this doesn't affect him long term. I mean, he's a very good young promising running back. Cleveland, it's just a lost season at this point. And, you're just going to have to find pivot options if you were relying on him as a flex option or, maybe one of your top RBs. Like I have him in a league where I'm going to the championship and now I'm going to have to find another option. I don't think I'm going to be looking at like a Dylan Sampson or, one of the backup running backs there. I just don't like that offense because even Judkins had really cooled off as of recent. It's hard to have any, and we just saw like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery get shut down against this Pittsburgh defense. So not a great start next week. So if you did lose Judkins, I would not look to pivot to his backups. I don't think it's going to be an attractive job, and it'll probably be a timeshare with whoever they throw out there in a bad offense.
I know Ramondre Stevenson is a popular name. He might be available in redraft leagues on the waiver wire.
Yeah. I mean, any competitive league he shouldn't be, but yeah, if he's out there, he's a must pick up, of course.
In other news, you might need a wide receiver because DK Metcalf suspended 2 games with the fan incident, making contact with the fan. Now, there's 2 sides to this story, as there always is. Metcalf claims that there were racial regards thrown at him. Meanwhile, the fan says he was just calling him by his biological name, which I don't even know his biological name. I saw it earlier. It's something that's much different than DK. I'll just say that. And DK clearly did not like it or appreciate it, so he grabbed him by the shirt, ripped the shirt, gave him a push. Of course, I don't care what sport you're in. Players cannot physically
declain. His name is
Declain. I don't care what sport it is. Players cannot make physical contact with fans. You will always be suspended. So Metcalf, bit of a hothead moment, has now put his team in a bad spot, trying to lock up the AFC North with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bad spot, but ultimately, all you need is you handle business this week, it's fine. He wouldn't be playing. If they handle business this week, he wouldn't be playing anyway, week 18. So in that aspect, it's okay. It's just he won't be in the building. I believe when they're suspended, they're not allowed in the building.
That might be accurate, yes. But it's like, hey, if they lose to the Browns and the Ravens win, now you have this winner-take-all game in Week 18 that could have been avoided. Yeah. And, he kind of let his team down. What if it's a close one and they can't get the passing attack going? It's what everyone's going to think of and how his selfishness kind of cost the team there. You know what I mean? And even, getting ready for the playoffs, setting out 2 weeks is not getting you ready for the playoffs either.
Yeah.
For an offense that just caught their groove, let's be honest.
Yeah. No, they got and the running backs have looked great. They got a nice 1-2 punch going right now with Warren and Gainwell.
They absolutely do. Well, speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, of course, exited the game last night against the Patriots in the loss. They blew that game.
Yeah.
Very, very frustrating. Got to think if Lamar's in there, they probably close it out. But back contusion, a pretty bad one, and those are painful. So not a long-term injury by any stretch of the means, but it's a pain tolerance thing, and they're hopeful he's going to be able to play this upcoming Sunday, and they need him. Let's be honest. It's back against the wall, win or go home now for Baltimore. Absolutely need your former MVP quarterback in the lineup.
Yeah, against the Packers, too. That's a legit defense. Even without Micah, that is still a very, very legit defense.
100%, and they might not even have Jordan Love because he's in concussion protocol, which was the next point. Jordan Love got clocked in the head, concussed, left the game. Of course, the Packers blew that game. You got to think they probably
misses, don't. I'm probably starting him in the championship against Malik Willis.
I tell you what, man, he showed some things. Very impressed with his development. He looks like a different player compared to his time in Tennessee, as I'm sure most quarterbacks would. Give some hope for Will Levis. I know you've been talking about Will Levis for a little bit, how he might be a rejuvenation project in 2026, but Yeah, if there's no Jordan Love for Green Bay and Baltimore can get Lamar Jackson back, that is a huge, huge advantage for them going against Malik Willis in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Other quarterback injury news. J.J. McCarthy got lit up by Brian Burns and has a right hand injury. It looked like it was a bone or something in his hand because he could not go back into the game. It was Max Brosmer who ultimately was able to do enough for them to hold on for the win. Granted, it doesn't matter. They're out of the playoffs anyways, so you kind of just want McCarthy to get game reps.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, would he been able to come back if if they're still alive? Do you think they make that move? It's a lot easier to be like, hey, let's err on the side of caution with our, one of our top assets when you're out of the playoffs first in the hunt.
It's a good question. Would O'Connell put him back in there? I don't know. Could he throw a football? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know, but why risk it? I mean, we saw what happened to Jaden Daniels, earlier in the year playing meaningless football and then continuing to get injured in meaningless games for them where then they shut him down for the year to be safe. So
sucks too because he was just getting on track with Jefferson for the best game for Jettas in a while. Let's call a spade, and now McCarthy gets knocked out, and it's like shit. Like it looked like they were building something going into your fantasy finals, and now if it's Max Brosmer with Justin Jefferson, boy,
probably,
you gotta
rather put him on the bench.
You might gotta put him on the bench in the finals, which is sickening. All right, Reagan, that's all I got from news tonight. It's time for the mailbag.
That it is. So let's cut to Shawnee Moe, only question asker tonight. What wildcard team can be the scariest in the playoffs? So I guess he's talking at the current wildcards, and if you had a team on the outside looking in, which really would be just Detroit at this point, could be a wildcard team on the outside looking in. But out of the current ones, I think it's pretty obvious to me that it's Buffalo.
Yeah. Buffalo.
I mean, I shouldn't say this obvious because you could say the Rams, but I guess it would be the Rams just because like they've been there, done that, and it's like nobody like if you're the Panthers or the Bucks, whoever ends up winning it, that is a tough draw for your first home game. The team that's the Vegas betting odds favorite to win the Super Bowl, and you draw them at home in the first round. Even though Carolina already beat the Rams,
they did.
Still,
they beat them.
I mean but that game was in Carolina, right? Was that in LA? No, that was definitely in Carolina. It was. So I guess for Carolina, maybe they wouldn't hate that matchup, but those are kind of my two right now. That would be the scariest wildcard teams.
Well, let's be honest. New England right now at 12-3 has the Jets and the Dolphins. You got to think they're going to finish 14-3, which would keep the Bills in that wild card. They're absolutely the most dangerous in the AFC. I don't care. The Chargers, sure, like they're a good team, but they haven't made a deep run like the Bills have consistently. The Jags are going to win it. You have Houston, who's won a playoff game each of the past 2 years. But again, I don't think they're on the Bills level. So I think you got to go Buffalo in the AFC. And the NFC, you're right, Reagan. It's whoever loses the NFC West, Seattle or the Rams, you got to put up there right now. Because with Green Bay, Jordan Love's out, right? So if he does get back in there, like, sure, I'd put Jordan Love in the Packers in that conversation as well. But you got to think they don't have Micah Parsons. So if I got to pick who's going to win a game, neutral site right now, Rams, Packers, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, 100%. They have the way better offense. I would have gone with the Rams even if Micah was playing.
I probably would have too, yeah.
So that doesn't really change anything for me. And then for the Bills, it's just giving them the respect. Like, to me, they're the scariest team because of Josh Allen right now that's in the AFC.
You remember when we did our NFL futures pod in the summer, and I had Rams to make the NFC Championship at plus 600.
Did you bet that?
No, I didn't bet it.
Oh.
But it was a pretty good call. It would have been it would have looked much better if they beat the Seahawks because they'd have.
Hey, I got a 40-1 ticket on the Bears right now, and that's 10-1 currently. So I'm feeling pretty good about that ticket. I'm feeling good about that ticket
to win the NFC.
Yeah, 10-1 currently.
11-4, man. That's crazy for the Bears. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they could still get that 1 seed. That's still definitely on the horizon.
What is that they've won 6 games when they've been trailing with under 2 minutes left or something like that? It's freaking insane, dude.
Well, all they got to do is win out and have Seattle win or lose one of the next 2, and they're the 1 seed, I believe, because that would mean they'd beat San Fran. They currently have a better conference record than the Rams. And yeah, they basically need to win out, and they need Seattle to lose one of their next 2 games or
But
tie.
who they got in week 18?
They got
Is it Minnesota?
the Lions, who
Detroit.
they should be able to take care of business, because I think at that point Detroit will probably be eliminated. Maybe not, though. Maybe not, but
yeah, but it's fucking Dan Campbell versus Ben Johnson. They're not lying over for anyone, dude.
Yeah, no, they're not lying over, but I just definitely think like they're like, you can say
Playing
whatever you
spoiler,
want.
come on.
Playing it. Yeah,
I think the Bears lose that game.
Maybe. Hard to say, but I think they split the season series.
We'll see. I mean, we could talk about that for week 18, dog. We got to talk about week 17 first.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, that was very in-depth.
That's all we had tonight on the question.
Just one question. I mean, hey, we went to work on that question. So
yeah, I was a little late
Thanks,
getting
Shawnee
the link
Mo.
out there.
We appreciate you, Shawnee Mo.
It's all right. We got plenty of insight anyway. Plenty of stuff to talk about. So
plenty of ball, man. Plenty of ball. Well, we got 3 games on Christmas, 2 on Netflix, the early 2 games, and the night game on Prime Video. So Netflix continues to dip their toes in the football water here. And I'm not going to lie, these games before the season looked a lot better than where they stand now.
They definitely did.
But hey, it's football, man. So we're going to watch anyways. It's championship weekend for your fantasy playoffs. We'll always have a wager on Christmas Day. We're going to have an Around the Felt Christmas Day parlay for you guys as well after we hit big on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's run it back.
Win. So we'll run it back for you guys with some props on Christmas Day. But right now, we're going to talk about the games, and hey, maybe some props that we like, Reagan. Why not? We're missing the other two soldiers in the ATF army, but you know, we can hear our thoughts. So we're going to start with Dallas and Washington in the 1:00 slate. Both teams eliminated from the playoffs, of course. Dallas 6-8-1, Washington 4-11. Dallas 6.5-point favorites on the road with a total of 50.5, which is juicy because both these defenses are trash. Dallas actually just put Deron Bland on IR as well before this past game. So their secondary's weak. I know Quinton Williams did not play his last Sunday either. So we'll see if he plays on Thursday. Just give me all the points in this one. Give me the offense. But ultimately, who do you think wins this game?
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I'm going to go under the imagination. I mean, we don't fully know yet, but I think Mariota is going to play in this one. So I'm kind of making this pick that he will. I think these teams at this point are both kind of evenly matched. The fact that, you know, both teams are eliminated means it's a toss-up to me. Like, I'm not worried. Like, on paper, Dallas is better, but I just think these defenses are not great. I know Quinton Williams, I believe, has been banged up. Did he get concussed? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he missed this past game against the Chargers with a concussion on Sunday that they lost by 17. Meanwhile, the Commanders were up on the Eagles 10-7.5 and kind of, you know, that game kind of went how you'd expect. Philly taking over in the second half.
Well, and also I think Mariota going out and Josh Johnson coming in really limits your offense. There's a big, not that Mariota's any like world beater, but he's certainly a lot better than Josh Johnson. So I'm going to take the Commanders at home in this division game. You know, it's just, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go with them because they're at home, and it's also like 6.5 points in a matchup where I think both teams are pretty even. Like, I don't think the Dallas is that much better that they deserve to be 6.5-point favorites. Like, I understand their offense is sick, but I just think like there's a world where, you know, George Pickens, it just comes out all lazy and not caring, and it's like they just.
What do you mean? There's a world. That's this world, dude. We've been seeing that happen.
We've seen that happen. So it's kind of like. It's just a lot of points to take. Like, I think
that's this world.
Dallas could easily win, but that's a lot of points to give a team that's got 6 wins this year.
Yeah, look, I hear you, man. 6.5, it does seem like a lot of points. I'm sure that line right now is baking in the assumption that Mariota is on the fence to play. I don't give a shit. I'm going to take Dallas to win and cover the 6.5 no matter what. Both these defenses are in the same tier of shit, so it's not even like we need to dive into that side of the ball. Like, hopefully Quinton Williams is active for Dallas so they can control the run game of Washington that kind of has come to life the past 2 weeks a little bit with Bill and Rodriguez. But, you know, Dallas just is way more potent on offense. They have the better offensive line. They have the better quarterback by a mile. They have 2 weapons that are both better than the 2 weapons on Washington. Yeah, give me Dallas, man. I think they're going to bounce back. The Commanders' defense is not even close to the Chargers' defense, which LA is number 2 in yards allowed. The Commanders are 4th. No, I'm sorry. They are the 2nd worst in yards per allowed. So it's the complete opposite end of the spectrum here. I expect a bounce back from 17 points scored. Even if the Commanders are going to hang 24, I think Dallas is going to put up 30 and cover this one. So I'll probably end up taking one of my props from this Dallas receiver core, whether that's CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens, to be determined. Probably CeeDee, because we don't want Pouty Pickens bombing our parlay, but that's where my head's at.
This is going to be a tough parlay, dude.
I know, because it's like the rest of the slate's tough. Like, you also don't know who's at quarterback for the next game. I mean, should we just get to the next game?
What I will say is that Dallas just rolled over against the Chargers too in that game. Like, and I know Washington, I know Philly. You could say they kind of rolled over too in the second half, but I think a lot of it has to do with Josh Johnson coming in. He's just so bad.
He's been on 13 teams, bro.
He's not. You know what I mean? He's really really bad. I don't know. I got Dak Prescott in multiple fantasy championships next week, and I'm a little nervous because it's just you hope that they keep using him and stuff and let him cook, but it's also the world where it's just they're eliminated. So all it takes is for a slight tweak injury, and it's they're gonna take him right out.
Yeah, but you could think that way about a lot of players, though. You know what I mean? I get it's the quarterback, which makes it more dicey, but I don't know, man. You got to roll with Dak Prescott against the Commanders, and I'm saying that as your opponent next week.
I'm probably gonna go with Stafford to be safe.
I mean, you can go Stafford too. He's a top 5 quarterback this season.
Yeah, so. I think I'm gonna go with Stafford to be safe against Atlanta in a game where they're playing for something, and just have the Puka Stafford stack when he throws them 3 touchdowns again, and just really just pour it on Monday night when you have a 50-point lead, and it's just chip.
Yeah, that's going to be the worst. Because it's funny, in my other fantasy championship as well, he has Puka Nacua, so I'm dreading Monday night next week.
Go against the guy you're going against? Yeah. I'll be going against Zach Puka, so in the other one.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. That was me, 2 Gibbs this week, going against Gibbs in 1, and I was like, this is just a mind fuck.
Yeah, but I don't
know
Adam.
So. Let's get to the next game, the afternoon game, 4:30 p.m. on Christmas Day. Lions, Vikings, Detroit at 8-7, Minnesota at 7-8. Honestly, not a bad game. It's just, you'd hope last year there were playoff implications on the line. Detroit is a 6-point favorite here. The total 44.5, definitely lower because A, this Vikings defense is legit, and B, we might have Max Brosmer starting for Minnesota to be determined with McCarthy, as we just touched on, exiting with a hand injury, tight turn with a Thursday game. Does that change your thought process for this ball game at all?
100%. 9 is worlds above Brosmer. The only time we've ever seen Brosmer play was one of the worst football games ever. So yeah, it does. I think if 9 plays, they can easily win this game outright. If Brosmer plays, I think they get both. I don't think they get both. Their defense is still pretty good. And their defense is playing really good as of recently. They're still playing hard. Flores has got, you got to think Flores is going to be a very hot name this next coaching cycle. But I mean, listen, over the last 3 games, Dallas, did put up 26, but I was still very impressed with the way the defense, held that offense down. That score is not super reflective. The Vikings kind of were in control the whole time. And then this past game against the Giants made Jackson Dart look terrible. And then, 2 weeks prior to that, they held the Commanders to 0 points. So I really like what I've been seeing from this Vikings defense. I am going to take them to cover in this one. Ultimately, I will have the Lions winning just because this is more of a Max Brosmer hedge. If I knew 9 was playing at this moment in time, I might take the Vikings. But the Lions are still playing for something, at this point in time going into the game. It's not like the Cowboys this past weekend where they knew going into it they'd already been eliminated from the playoffs. So, it would suck if we knew the Packers, because technically right now the Lions can only get in with passing the Packers. Everybody else is clinched. Because even if the Lions win this one, if the Packers just go out and beat the Ravens, they're in because of the tie.
Yeah.
So the Lions, while they don't really control their destiny at all, they need a lot of help. So I'll take them to cover. I'll take them to win, and I'll take the Vikings to cover.
I'm going to go with the Lions to cover the 6 here, regardless if it's Brosmer or McCarthy. 6 is a weird number for me where I feel like that's a McCarthy number. I think if it was Brosmer, it'd be a higher spread. You know what I mean?
Really?
So, yeah, I do. Because, I mean, you're right. Minnesota's defense has been playing at a different level the past few weeks in particular. They're really good against the pass. So what I'm looking for in this game by taking Detroit, and it's indoors, so I don't really care about the weather and Jared Goff and how he struggles with the weather. I'm looking for the run game to get back on track, particularly Jahmyr Gibbs and a little bit of Montgomery. I was actually watching Pat McAfee show earlier, and they were saying Sonic and Knuckles were ass and cheeks this past week.
They were.
Like, oh, they were. They got bottled up. So I know Gibbs did a little bit of work the receiving game, and he did get a touchdown, but kind of saved his day. He still got 20 fantasy points, but the run game was not good for either guy. Minnesota's top 10 against the pass, bottom 10 against the run. So that's how Detroit is going to have to control this ball game at the line of scrimmage, even though, to be honest, that offensive line has not been on the same level this season as it was last year. So I am a little bit concerned because that Minnesota pass rush is legit. But for two teams, only Detroit's got something to play for. I got to think Dan Campbell's going to have these boys fired up. They just lost their first games back-to-back for the first time since, I think, 2022 or 2021, which is pretty nuts. So I don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row. Give me Detroit here.
Okay. All right.
Denver, Kansas City, the night game. Holy shit, this game, if the Chiefs were the Chiefs of the past 8 years, this game would be the game of the year maybe. On Christmas Day, the night slate.
Yeah.
12-3 Broncos.
It's supposed to be good.
The 6-9 Chiefs. Pause. And there's no Patrick Mahomes, no Gardner Minshew, who did not tear his ACL, but there is some damage there, like a very painful, deep bruise in his knee. So he's out for the season, but no surgery required. So there will be no Gardner Minshew, which is why we're seeing a 12.5-point spread in favor of the Denver Broncos. And with that defense, man, I mean, fuck. How can you have any faith in Kansas City? That's why your total for this game is 36.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting Chris Olakun. I don't even know if you have how you even say it.
They might sign someone, dude. I don't know. Like, just
he's 28, dude. 28, make it 28, second-year player. I mean, I know. I don't think they will sign. What's the point? Give the young guy a chance, or not really young guy, but you know they're gonna probably play him. I mean, it's a short week. Like, who can you sign? And if they didn't sign anybody today, they're not gonna bring somebody in tomorrow. I won't learn the playbook quick enough.
Well, they have to bring someone in anyways to have a backup. But it's like,
no, I know, but I'm saying this guy's definitely starting.
Get my guy Cam Newton in there, huh? You see what he was saying after Rivers got signed?
Yeah, dude. So it should be another game. You know, I kind of am tempted to take. No, you know what? I am gonna take the Chiefs to cover somehow, some way. Like, they still have a decent defense, and we've seen the Broncos let a lot of teams hang around. So I am going to take the Chiefs to cover. I will have the Broncos to win just because, listen, it's still at Arrowhead. It's still on Christmas Eve. It's a big game. And this Broncos team just seemingly, like, as dominant as they've been all year, and they finally just got, like, humbled against the Jaguars.
Yeah, 34-20.
They love letting bad teams – what?
Yeah, 34-20. They got kind of shellacked a little bit.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, as much as they, you know, as good as they are, they love letting bad teams hang around. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with the Giants. They went toe-to-toe with the Jets. So I think this variation of the Chiefs is a bad team, but I think they'll hang around because Broncos like playing with their food, you could say. So, you know, ultimately they'll get it done, but that's a lot of points to give a team at home. So give me the Chiefs, man. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously letting up 34 points to Jacksonville is not ideal. Denver's still a top 5 total defense, but I don't know, man. It kind of seems like there's been some cracks in their armor the past couple of weeks on the defensive side of the ball. So, you know, this is a fat spread, and I think rightfully so, but 12.5 is pretty crazy. I'm going to take it, though. I'm going to go with Denver. I don't know, man. Race for the number 1 seed. The Chiefs just, I mean, they just got dog walked by the Titans. You know
Chris
what I mean?
Olakun, damn, bro. His line's at 150 passing yards. That might be my Felt 5 pick.
For the parlay?
For the parlay. 150 yards is so low.
Yeah, but it's also like Pat Surtain, Jahdae Barron, like, you know?
you got to think they're going to be down and trailing, and he's going to be throwing it a lot. Garbage. Dude, that's like not like he could go in the fourth quarter with like 100 passing yards, and it's like he could get them in garbage time.
Yeah, I don't hate it, man. It's also
so low.
The guy's also ass cheeks.
Is he though? I mean, hey, he's an NFL
he's
player.
28 years. He went 11 of 16 for 111 yards against Tennessee.
Yeah, but that's in half the game.
Not playing the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. 150 with the full game.
I'm also gonna like put this out there for you, Reagan. Like, they just lost the Titans by 17 points. Like, this spread is 12.5. I think a Broncos team with something to play for could cover that. If Tennessee boat raced them, like the vibes are just so down in Kansas City, bro. Like, what are they? They're not even playing for anything. Like, I don't know. They're just a team that's always.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only one I might take a prop on would be him. Is just his passing yards, like for our pick. It's tough. It's gonna be tough. I don't even know. I'm curious to see what you'll do for your if you're gonna do a big dogs for Thanksgiving. You like have to do a Broncos player. You have to do a Lions, and then I guess a Cowboy.
I did one for Thanksgiving, so I'd like to. I'd go RJ Harvey in this game if I have to.
That's what I mean. And then between Kansas City, Minnesota, and Washington, you got to take one guy because you got to think the other three teams, the three road teams, you're going to take a guy. So you got to pick one of the home teams, guys. I would say probably your best bet is to. I think you have to stay away from the Chiefs. So you got to pick a guy in either the Vikings or the Commanders for your fourth guy.
If it's Prosper, I'm not going Minnesota, so we're gonna have to go somewhere with the commies.
Yeah, I think Terry.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get in the lab. We're gonna have to get in the lab for that one, brother.
Terry or Debo, one of those two.
Yeah, probably. All right, let's get to Saturday. We got 2 more Saturday games. How fun was that, having games on Saturday
this past pumped.
Weekend? And still a full Sunday slate. It was sick.
Mm-hmm.
We got, in the early game, fucking nice one, man. Shit, these games should have been on Christmas Day. We got Houston at the Los Angeles Chargers. Houston 10-5, LA 11-4. And LA 2.5-point favorites at home with a total of 39.5. So Vegas believes in these two defenses. You're rolling with Harbaugh. You're rolling with D'Amico Ryans.
I'm taking the Chargers. They want to get their get back at home. Listen, let's not forget a year ago, the Chargers got bounced in embarrassing fashion in the wild card round. So I think there's a lot of pent up energy in this one. They're going to come in fired up in this one. I mean, also like it's a must win for both teams. But I mean, I guess you could say it's just as much win for both teams because they're both a game back right now of the team in front of them for the division. They both have the better division record. So like it's a massive game for both teams. Chargers will have a better idea going into this one because I believe, the Broncos technically can't the Broncos. No, they can't clinch because the Chargers will have an opportunity. As long as they win this, they have a win and get in. Or, I mean, they have a win and win the division on Week 18. And I believe the Texans never mind. They have the Colts. I was going to say I thought the Texans played the Jaguars. But regardless, I mean, both teams, this is so massive for. Both teams should be clinched because I think tonight the Colts you would imagine, are going to lose. So, Houston would clinch tonight. We would think, seemingly. So it's really about seeding, potentially even getting up to their division win. But I'm going to take the Chargers at home. I just think, like I said, after last year's an embarrassing playoff loss, I think the Chargers are going to be coming in with a chip on their shoulder, trying to get their get back. But who do you got?
Man, I had the Chargers initially. I actually switched to Houston. It just feels like a game that Houston finds a way to win at the end in a tight one. And I went back and I checked out that playoff game and how it turned out, and I remembered it was the worst game of Justin Herbert's career.
It was.
Completing 14 of 32 passes. It's awful. He threw 4 interceptions to 1 touchdown, had no rushing attempts in the game, and when Herbert's at his best, he's getting his legs involved as well, which, he's been doing a good amount recently. He just ran for 42. He ran for 66 a couple games ago, so for me, it's just like a matchup of two great defenses. I do think Kamani Vidal is probably out for LA, so it's just going to be Amari Hampton, and he's looked good since he came back. And I do think that LA has the upper hand in terms of the run game. But I don't know, man. What if Houston is just Herbert's kryptonite? You know what I mean? Like, I'm benching Herbert in my fantasy finals in favor of Caleb Williams against the Niners, and I think that's a really safe play. What are your thoughts?
They're the same tier for me, quarterback-wise. I would probably do the same thing based off of the matchups. Like the Niners defense has been playing well, but like they're not to the level of Houston.
And I know Herbert had an awesome game, but
that would be what I would do as well. So I'm not going to fault you on that at all.
Okay, I thought you would approve that because you're a big Caleb and Bears guy. I mean, so I think that's a better play.
I mean the Texans are just a scary defense to go against. You don't want to fight. You don't want to play with that. Plus,
you don't want that smoke.
I would imagine like this screams low scoring matchup. I believe the over under is like very low. Yeah, so that tells me I need to know where the Bears Niners line isn't actually out. Oh, it's not out because they're playing right now. But I would imagine that over under will be closer to 50.
Yes, for sure. So I think that's a smart play. And I tell you what, man, Houston, it was a tight one with the Raiders, the 23-21 win. You don't love that, but hey, I just think their defense is going to show up in this one. So give me the Houston Texans. All right, moving on here. We got another
one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Just because we're not doing the recap, but like, are we not going to talk about how the Texans let the Raiders just like hang around somehow? Like,
I don't understand it. It was, what's
what I mean? Like,
bro?
Ashton Jeanty had his best game of his career against the best defense.
He was an animal, bro. And that's what gives me hope. I actually was thinking about this today, and I was like, I can't wait for next year's like fantasy football like episodes where it's like, where do you take Ashton Jeanty? Because he just showed you that premier, that's why you get picked top 6 talent. And even like the Texans were like Will Anderson and D'Amico Ryans were just praising him like crazy on how well he did. And it's like, fuck, like that is your ceiling with him.
Yards all purpose.
But it's just so crazy it happened against this team.
I know. They almost lost this game. I mean, the win by 2 points against the Raiders. That's why I took the Raiders to cover, because I was like, this is one where it's like everybody's going to be taking the Texans because they're like, how are the Raiders going to even put up a point in this match? And I'm like, it ain't going to make sense, but the Raiders are somehow going to hang around. And I mean, they really did. I mean, it was, they were winning. They were winning till late in the third quarter. The Raiders were winning late in the third quarter. So it's like,
oh yeah, then, like, rooting so hard for them.
Yeah, I'm sure you were, but you guys control your own destiny, where all you need to do is let them win next week.
I know. I want to see that Raiders, that Ashton Jeanty, fucking Michael Myers ready to roll on Sunday.
Well, I was maybe I'll throw him in big dogs, but I was
he's going in for sure.
I was going to say, I was looking today. I want the Raiders to win too, because even if the Giants win, you guys will still pick over the Jets because you have a way easier schedule than us. Where the Raiders actually have had a harder schedule than the Jets. So the Jets, with the Raiders win, they go past the Jets, where with the Giants win, the Giants are still picking in front of them. So I'm rooting for the Giants.
That's smart. And it's also smart because even if you don't want a quarterback, your front office probably does. So instead of getting the second quarterback, if the Raiders get the first pick, there's a chance that your front office can pick their quarterback. Which even if you don't want one,
Reuben Bain, because you guys need an edge rusher.
We're not getting Reuben Bain, dog. It's like what we need is not the top of the draft right now. We're gonna reach for a receiver probably, or reach for a safety and Caleb Downs. But
yeah,
whatever. We'll talk more about that when we get there. But let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens at 7-8, coming off that blown loss last night to the New England Patriots. Just a heartbreaker. Traveling to Green Bay to face the 9-5-1 Packers, who also blew the game to the Chicago Bears. Packers are 2.5-point favorites here, with both quarterbacks questionable as of this point in time. And the total, 40.5, very low, as you'd expect with both quarterbacks questionable at this point in time. So, Reagan, let's sit here and predict this game as if Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love will be playing.
Okay, I can do that. Then I will be taking the Ravens. And I will be taking the Ravens because I do think they are the better team. I think they should have beat the Patriots. I mean, I think it ultimately came down to Lamar getting injured. They were in control the majority of that game.
Yeah,
last night. I mean, they really looked like they were going to win. Derrick Henry was dominating. And then it's just like, all right, you lose him and you put in Snoop Huntley and it's easy to come back. I mean, granted, the defense, really didn't step up and get any stops at the end. They kind of let Drake May pick him apart, where he, had his highest passing career day. That's actually, believe it or not, the first time he's ever even thrown over 300 yards. So career night for him. But I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think they will get it done. but I think it's going to be an ugly fashion. But I think Lamar's just going to step up. Like I think he's so, and I know he's banged up and he's been sick. He's so due for just a game where he takes over and dominates. So I think it's going to be this one where he just wills his way and they win because it's just pure Lamar Jackson domination that Green Bay can't stop.
I like
about
that
it historically too. He is very good against the NFC as well.
That is a good point. I always remember that stat because the Giants beat him in 2022 at home. So I always remember that stat. And that's a good point. He is good against the NFC. However, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers here. The Green Bay Packers have the front seven, even without Micah Parsons, to contain Derrick Henry and this run game. They're top 8 in the league against the run. I have more concerns about Baltimore's defense than Green Bay's 100%. So, and you know what? It does concern me a little bit that Josh Jacobs was banged up. He did not get his full workload in that game against Chicago. A lot of Emmanuel Wilson at the end there. So this is tough, but there is something about playing in Green Bay in December that it's just really hard to win there. So even with Lamar's successes against the NFC, I'm going to go with the Packers. And it's two teams that are looking to bounce back, two teams that need a win here for their playoff push. I'm just going to go with the home team and the Cheeseheads to get a big win around Christmas time. It just feels right.
Curious what the Cheesy Bears think.
The Cheesy Bears, dude. No, you can't mix up them and their rival, dog. It doesn't work like that. You see the Bears where someone had a cheese grater head on. It's pretty clever. It's pretty. Funny. Oh, Michael Pittman. Oh, that would have been sick. No, he were inside the 15 though. Would have been nice. He didn't make a guy miss.
That would have been nice.
There's a flag. There's a flag though, so it's all right. All right, let's get to the Sunday slate now. Which, you know,
I know it's crazy. We got 5 games happening before we even get to Sunday.
I know. And there's still 7 games in the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday. There's only 2 games in the 4 o'clock slate, bro. What the fuck is this schedule? There's 2 games in the 4 o'clock slate. Giants Raiders for number 1 overall and Eagles Bills, which is a sick game. Wow. But then you have 7 games in the 1 o'clock slate, dude.
Yeah, that is really why 2? Do 6 and 3. I mean, really, like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's bullshit. But we're gonna start with the Steelers and the Browns here. Pittsburgh at 9-6, Cleveland 3-12, and of course the Steelers are favored by only 3.5 points though. That classic AFC North battle. Total 34.5. Holy shit! Can't remember the last time I've seen a total that low. But hey, here we are. No Quinshon Judkins for the Browns. It's gonna have to be the Shedeur show. Do you believe in Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns to get an upset win and keep the Ravens' hopes alive for a big chance at the AFC North title?
I mean, listen, like it's I actually do. I actually do. You know, like it's AFC North football. It's always super tight games. So I actually think the Browns are going to win this one. This is just like there's no way the Steelers can finish like 11-6. You know what I mean? Like they got to go 9-8 or 10-7. So you almost got to think like this is like I also just feel like we're so due for a Week 18 battle between the Steelers and the Ravens. It just seems like it's setting up that way. Maybe I'm taking the Browns because I selfishly want them to win, but I think their defense is going to step up big here. Judkins obviously a massive loss for the Browns, but I think the Steelers not having DK is going to be very, very evident when it comes to their passing game where they don't have a true number 1 that can get it open. So if the Browns can shut down the Steelers offense, the running game, it's going to be a tough day at the office. I will say already, though, take Kenneth Gainwell. Is that Pittman? Yes. Did he catch it?
No, it's Mike. It's Pierce.
No, it's 11. No,
it's Pierce. It's 14.
Oh, fuck.
Alec Pierce. I thought it was Pittman too, dude. I was like, oh, no way.
Damn.
No way.
It was Pierce. Rivers cooking now. Oh, that's sick, though, in my underdog thing I was telling you about. I did a lineup, and I took Pierce and Rivers.
Wow. There you go. That's a good start. You might be in first place. There you go.
Hopefully. But anyway, what were we saying? What was I saying?
You're picking the Browns.
Yeah, I am going to take the Browns. I just think that they're going to shut down this passing attack, and it's going to be a lot on the run game. So I think there's going to be a very low-scoring battle. I think it's going to come down to which defense can get the takeaways. But I'm saying Cleveland, and Garrett's going to break the record in this game.
Kenneth Gainwell.
And I will say Kenneth Gainwell, like his receiving prop, whatever it is, take the over because Rodgers loves him. and he's been looking great. But he loves him. Rodgers loves his receiving backs, and with not a lot of weapons going on, I think whatever his receiving line is, I think this guy's going to be pushing. I'm not even joking, for like 100 receiving yards. So
wow,
yeah,
I'm going to go with the Steelers to win and cover the 3.5. And here's why: even without DK Metcalf in this one, I don't know how the Browns are going to move the football, because the Steelers defense did just shut down Sonic and Knuckles' ass and cheeks, right? Without Judkins, how are the Browns going to run?
Or did you already explain that?
I already did. It was just funny.
I thought you said that to me off pod.
No, that was during the pod, bro. McAfee show is saying that Gibbs and Monty were ass and cheeks this past.
No, I know that. I just couldn't remember if you told me that off pod or we talked about that on the pod.
That was like 15 minutes ago, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
But hey, they made Judkins they made Gibbs and Montgomery look like ass and cheeks. What are they going to do with whoever the hell the Browns throw out there? So it's going to have to be all on Shedeur, right? And then look at the past 4 weeks and what opposing RB1s have done against this very highly touted Browns defense. Teams have been able to run the ball down their throats. And how has Pittsburgh been winning? By running the ball down teams' throats with Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. So without even DK Metcalf, I'm very content with taking Pittsburgh to cover the 3.5 here. They also understand what's in front of them, and Rodgers and Tomlin are not going to let this team sleepwalk because it's the Cleveland Browns. So give me the Steelers here. I think they're going to win and cover the 3.5 with ease.
Damn, with ease. I don't know about that, buddy. I don't know. I feel like they're due for a letdown. They've been playing a little too good, buddy. They've been playing a little too good. They're due for a letdown.
Trust me, dude. I'm a Steelers hater, too. I'm not a believer in them long term. I think they're an automatic first-round exit. Like, I don't give a fuck who they're playing. They're going to lose first round when they get in. And I'm rooting for the Browns, brother. Like, absolutely. It helps the Giants draft pick. If they were to win, it sets up a juicy matchup in Week 18, potentially. If Baltimore can handle business, that'd be so much fun. AFC North Classic. But I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. I think Baltimore loses, Pittsburgh wins.
All right,
brother. Your New York Jets at home. Are you going to MetLife, huh? To watch your 3-12 Jets face the 12-3
I did get tickets too, but I'm not going. But I do have tickets if I want to, but I'm not going because I don't want to, because that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. It's going to be cold as shit. Your Jets are 13.5-point dogs. Total's 42.5, so not a lot of points expected from Brady Cook and the Jets.
Let him cook.
But hey, man, do you think your Jets can cover 13.5 at least in a divisional matchup?
I think they actually will cover, just because they're kind of due. Like, they've been playing some really bad football. So I feel like a lot of people are going to take the Patriots to dominate this one because of how bad the Jets have looked recently. And it's like, oh, it's Brady Cook. You know, the defense looks bad. I mean, ever since that Falcons win, they've lost 34-10 to the Dolphins, 48-20 to the Jaguars, and then 29-6 against the Saints. So they're just getting boat raced on the defensive side of the ball. So I feel like they are due for a bounce back game. You got to think they can't continue to play this bad where they're getting down so early. It's a fat spread.
That's what I said last week. That's why I took them to cover against the Saints.
No. Yeah, but I knew But the difference is, though, like, it wasn't they weren't ready yet, you know. And I feel like a lot of people were almost taking the Saints as a trap. So I feel like people were buying into the trap. Like, nobody's going to doubt that the Patriots are going to win this game. I just feel like a lot of people are going to take the Patriots to cover and win. So it's a lot of points. Brady Cook could have a decent game, or the defense could just show up. Maybe hot take, we get our first interception on the year. Maybe.
You said that last week, brother. Drake May ain't throwing it.
I didn't say that last week. Yo, speaking of it too, like, because they did lose to the Saints. How about Tyler Shuck? For those of you who maybe listened to me when he was 25-1.
Whoa, that's the next game on the slate, brother. Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I hope you listen to me.
Hey, that was a great call. That was a great call.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yeah, let me tell you why the Patriots are going to cover 13.5 first, and then we can talk about that. All right?
Yeah.
Patriots are going to cover 13.5 because the Jets' defense is Swiss cheese. They can't stop a nosebleed. The team's pathetic, and they've all given up, and they get their asses beat every week. So that's why the Patriots are going to cover 13.5. That's all I got. All right, Reagan, you want to talk about your Tyler Shuck now?
I have officially beat Colin in fantasy.
McCaffrey got it, huh?
You got to catch. So
Well, I
was
got him
sweating
to
it a
get
little
30
bit.
receiving yards, so I'll take it.
Yeah,
Congrats,
you should have
man.
had. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I know you were probably rooting on him to get injured so you'd win, but not happening.
Nope, I don't root for injuries. We don't root for injuries in this pod. We're
Even
not that
for
type
money?
of company. Nope. I'm not a greedy bastard. Nope.
Okay. Well, listen,
Nope.
he wasn't rooting for you. He was rooting for you to lose technically.
That's fine. He could root for that. I have a man of integrity.
His buddy Colin Tong.
All right, dude. You're talking about your Saints. You want to take a victory lap and stroke it a little bit? I'll let you stroke.
I mean, I'm not going to take a victory lap because he hasn't won it yet. But what I will say is, though, I'm just saying it was nice. It was a nice shout at 25-1 that, and a lot of things went our way. Henderson getting the concussion, which is unfortunate.
Oh, so you root for injuries?
No. I'm saying a lot of things went our way where Henderson left the game, so he didn't put up any stats. Ibuka got shut down completely. Dart got shut down completely. Genti balled out, but Genti's not going to win it. He's had such a bad season. Tyler Warren's playing tonight, but I think at this point, he would need a crazy game. So it's really now a two-man race between McMillan and Shuck. I think Henderson will probably miss next week with the concussion. I find it hard to believe that he would play. I think you're in agreement since you were saying the pick of Ramondre. And I think Ibuka at this point has just had such a bad second half stretch. And with Mike Evans and Godwin back, I just don't know if he's going to be as dominant. So it really is a two-man race. Actually, he's plus 50 now. So even better. But if he can win the next two games and ball out like he did, I mean, over 300 passing yards, granted, it's the Jets. But to me right now, he looks like the best rookie quarterback out of the big three between Dart and Ward. Granted, he's probably in the best situation out of the three.
Maybe right now.
Right now. He's also in the best situation.
Dart has had the best season. For sure.
No. Why would he not be higher in Rookie of the Year odds?
Dart won Rookie of the Month.
And I would think Shuck will probably win it this month.
Because he got hurt.
Right, but I'm saying their stats are very similar. I don't think you realize how similar their stats are. I don't think you've really learned about Tyler Shuck, buddy, because Dart's played 12 games. Granted, I know he played in a few games. I don't know how many games he's actually started because I know it's not actually 12 games because there was a couple early on, but they essentially have the same amount of passing yards. It looks like Shuck has started Shuck started 8 games. And how many has Dart started? Because I understand there were a few games early on where they were throwing him in there in packages. It looks like Dart started 10. So it's 10-8. Passing yards are the same. Dart's got more touchdowns. Throwing, he's got 13 to 5 interceptions.
There's also something about the eye test
on the ground. Yeah. They both look good, though. That's the thing.
They do.
They're both passing the eye
argue
test.
Dart versus Shuck, right? Because Shuck has come on.
Win.
Shuck has surged late. That has put him in the opportunity to win Rookie of the Year. Dart's latest injury and then that pitiful performance against Minnesota eliminates him. I'm not arguing that Dart should win it. I'm just saying.
I don't even think it does eliminate him, honestly. I still think the race is wide open. He could ball out the next 2 games, and then he's right back in the conversation.
It is. I mean, if every week we see it fluctuate, right? It is.
Henderson was plus 135 last week. Now he's plus 1,700. Granted, it's because he's going to. I mean, he basically he got a couple carries, got injured. But who scored for the Niners? Marcus Robinson. No. Whatever.
All right. So who you picking in Saints Titans? Saints are 2.5 point favorite.
I forgot we were even talking about the game. How did this got into a Tyler Shuck thing?
He's
gonna show Cam Ward who's the better quarterback. Well, I'm taking the Saints in this one. Let's be real here. They're the better team. I don't really care that the Titans just won. That doesn't change anything. I still think they're a very bad team. It just worked out that they got to play a backup and then a guy who's never played any snaps of NFL football ever. I will say though, if you actually listen to me about Tony Pollard being an extreme value, he's really come on the past couple games. He's probably on a lot of fantasy football championship rosters right now because of his play. His last 3 games, he has over 100 rushing yards in every game. He didn't score this week, so he only ended up getting actually 10 fantasy points, but he was over 100 yards. So he's really come on. That's all I'm going to say. He should be, with 2 games left, he's at 949. He should have another 1,000-yard rushing season. And it looks like he's actually going to have a better season or right around where he was last year. So I hope you did listen to me, and that's why I was saying he was an extreme value in the 8th round. And Ward's looked better too. Like you could say that was probably Ward's best game so far. And like it seems like Cam Ward's been a turnover machine, but 13 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Like I would not have guessed that. He actually hasn't. He's only thrown 1 interception in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 pick in his last 7 games, to 8 passing touchdowns. So he's really taking care of the ball right now. And he's showing like, hey, he's that guy. So if the Titans can, bolster that offensive line that they have invested a lot in, get a good coach for him and get him some weapons, like I do believe in the talent. Like I think all between Dart, Ward, and Shuck, like all 3 guys are passing the eye test for me. I just think in this one, the Saints are the much better team. They're playing really good right now. I think that defense is going to have their way with them, similar to how they just did with Brady Cook and the Jets, where they were able to sack him 8 times. So I think it's going to be a similar feat.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints here. I'm right there with you. Saints are going to win. They're a better team. I like the vibes that's going on under Kellen Moore a little bit more over there.
Bro, right?
And hey, I get it. They did beat the Chiefs, but, as you mentioned, it was a 3rd-string quarterback. The kid's never played an NFL snap, so it's like.
And no rights either.
You should win that fucking game. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it
is what it is. Honestly, 2.5. I thought it'd be a little bit more. Maybe Titans getting some respect for that win, but I don't know, man.
And the Saints
have been kind of hot recently. So, and granted, it has been beating bad teams. I'm not going to deny that. Like, yeah, they did beat Carolina. That's a good team, but they beat Atlanta. They beat the Jets and
Carolina twice.
Interesting. This divisional matchups, man.
And they beat the Bucs, bro. Like, I am curious too. Like, obvious, it's very clear Shuck's like miles better than Spencer Rattler. I do wonder if they started the season with Tyler Shuck. Are they a playoff team?
Well, Shuck, as he looks now, perhaps the way they've handled their division, perhaps, but also
like they're a 5-win team right now, and they played with Rattler the whole year.
Don't you think Kellen Moore knew that he wasn't ready, though? They put him in when he was ready, when they felt like he knows the system and they're going to put him out for success. So, under the assumption that he looks like he does now, perhaps, but.
I mean, yeah, then again, like the teams they lost to, like, yeah, they lost to the Cardinals. Like, that's when they probably could have won, but the Cardinals were also better in the beginning of the year. But they lost to the Niners, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Patriots, the Bears, the Bucks, the Rams.
There's a reason Shuck came in when he did.
Yeah, a lot of those teams they lost to are like teams that we're talking about winning the Super Bowl. So it's not like, this is definitely the easier half of the schedule, but it's definitely it opens up an interesting question is all I would say.
You're spending a lot of time on a team eliminated. You love the Saints now.
I'm just a Shuck guy. What can I say?
Shuck Tua. All right, let's move on here. The Jacksonville Jaguars will host the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Jags 11-4. The Colts currently 8-6. We're watching right now, playing the Niners. The Niners about to score to take a lead in the first quarter here. It's 7-7. So we'll see if the Colts lose. Nice. They're eliminated in the AFC South.
Yeah, that's a tough thing doing them right now because a lot will change on my feeling because then they go, also it's like if they get eliminated, like is Phillip Rivers starting next week?
Yeah, like is Rivers going to play if they're mathematically eliminated from
I don't see a point.
The playoffs, Like if they lose and they're 8-7, they're done. Season's over, right?
Well, Anthony Richardson, I thought he got cleared. He can come back, correct?
He got activated off of PUP, so he's got a 3-week window. They're still saying he's not ready to play though, but that would be I would still go with
Riley Leonard. You know what I mean? Like if Riley Leonard's good to go, I would go with him over Rivers. Like if I don't think Rivers wants to play if it's meaningless football either.
Yeah, if it means nothing, maybe he just wants to for the fucks of it. But he's already come back. He's already shown he could do it. But they are 7-point underdogs in this matchup to the Jags, who, of course, as we talked about earlier, took care of business against the Denver Broncos by 2 touchdowns. Total is 46.5. Not gonna lie, it's pretty high. All right, hard to predict this game right now. We don't know who's playing a quarterback for the Colts. We don't know if they're mathematically going to be available for the playoffs. But
yeah, I mean, for me, like I am going to take the Colts to cover and the Jaguars to win. It's a division game. It's a lot of points. And it's not like a division game like the Jets-Patriots, where it's a really bad team versus a really good team. Like the Jaguars are a really good team, but I think the Colts are a decent team. I still like their defense. I mean, we saw they hung around with Seattle last weekend. Like those guys are still going to fight. Plus, at any point could be a JT game. Like where he could just bust off a couple big runs and it's no issue at all. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm also going to take the Colts to cover, Jags to win. I don't know. I was impressed with how the Colts looked against Seattle in that defense. So we'll see. I hope their defense doesn't let out 40 points tonight and make me look like an idiot. But, CMC. There you go, Reagan.
He scored.
Just pouring it on.
Well, because I have so I've officially beat Luke Young. I'm going to send him a text real quick, just saying suck it. And I also have another league. I had McCaffrey in three of my leagues tonight where I was currently trailing. 2 of them I've won now, and the other one I'm down 25. I need 25.1 to advance full point PPR. So I definitely think that's in the realm of possibility.
25 points right now. Like
no, coming into the game.
Oh, that's very alive. Very alive.
Yeah. I need to be exact at this moment in time. Well, I don't think it's updated with the touchdown, but no, it just did. I need 13.8. So I think that's very possible because it's still the first quarter.
It is the first quarter. It's very, very possible. All right, man, let's move on here. The Buccaneers at 7-8 travel to Miami to play the 6-9 Dolphins, led by Quinn Ewers. The Bucs are 5.5-point favorites. Total 46.5. Man, Quinn Ewers, the guy, getting the start. Not the best performance against that Bengals defense. They lost, of course, 45-21. Not on Quinn. Hard to hang 46 points in your first NFL start. And, of course, the Bucs lost a heartbreaker to Carolina by 3 points. So,
do you think they go with Quinn Ewers again, or do you think they go with Zach Wilson? I don't know how you don't give Zach Wilson a chance.
I don't know, man. The fact that they jumped Wilson for Ewers kind of told me that they want to play Ewers the last 3 games and see if he's worth keeping.
Weird, like they must like that. What does it say about Zach Wilson? I mean, the guy, like, it's pretty rare to see a guy drafted that early not get another opportunity, and so far he hasn't. You know,
it is weird, but I'm under the assumption it's going to be Ewers because they would have went to Wilson then Ewers if that was their plan. The fact they went straight to Ewers, I got to think they're going to start in the last 2 games because they probably don't like Zach Wilson's practice habits or film habits or something, and they want him out of the door. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, in this one, I am going to go with the Dolphins to win and cover here. Dude, I am. Give me Quinn Ewers. You know, I know it's not. We're not. Luke's pissed. I go. Nice try, buddy. He goes, haven't checked since Chase Brown third. I'm like, third touchdown. I'm like, fair. He's like, hey, the buddy was unnecessary.
You just dig at people, man.
I know.
You just
but yeah, no, I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I don't know, man. Tampa Bay is just bad vibes city. And even though Todd Bowles has gotten them into the playoffs every year since he's been coaching them, I think there's a chance that if they miss, I think there's a chance they move on from him. Because even though they've been making the playoffs, it's not like they've been going on deep runs. They had the one win against Philadelphia and then lost in the next round. Haven't made it to an NFC championship yet. And this feels like a lost season where you started out so hot. Because even if they get in, I feel like they're a first round exit. But nothing right now to me says anything but bad vibes. And I mean, you could say the same thing for Miami, but we'll see. We'll see.
I agree with you. I think Todd Bowles should be fired because they fell apart last year because that defense was trashed, and he's a defensive coach. To me, he's just ridden the coattails of what Bruce Arians built in that roster that was already in place that had talent all littered all over the place, especially in the trenches, and of course on the perimeter on offense. Right? For me, he's still just riding along with what was built, and they haven't been a serious Super Bowl contender with him. And the defense has been the problem, not the offense. He's a defensive coach. For me, that's a major red flag. I saw rumors today that he might actually get let go and that he might already know and he doesn't give a fuck. I think that's a little crazy.
I mean, I don't see how he's not let go. You know what I mean? I don't see how he's not let go.
If they miss the playoffs, I think he's fired.
Yeah.
Right? And this is what's crazy. Is this the 1 o'clock slate, right? I'm going to go with the Bucs to win and cover before I move on to the next game because they're intertwined here. But I'm going to go with the Bucs to win and cover. I do think, of course, they have more to play for. I got to think Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and the veterans in that room are going to be pissed off after losing that game to Carolina, and they're going to want a chance at a rematch Because if they lose, and the next game we're going to talk about, Carolina-Seattle, Carolina wins, Tampa Bay's done.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But I think Tampa Bay is going to go in there like the mindset, this is a playoff game, win or go home, we have to win, because they both play at 1 o'clock. So they have to have that assumption. So moving on now to Seattle, Carolina. Seattle's 12-3, Carolina 8-7. And even though the game's in Carolina, Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite here with a total of 42.5. So Vegas giving Seattle a big nod, which should be good news for Bucs fans. But of course, we've seen Carolina beat the Rams with a similar spread at home. So could happen again here. Who do you think for this one? I gotta think you're going with your boy Bryce Young.
I am going to take the Panthers. And I think that line's actually very disrespectful, to be honest. It's a lot of points to give Seattle. I know Seattle's a good team, but the Panthers have beaten pretty much all the top teams you could say right now. And it's funny because they're the definition of playing to their competition. But all the top teams in the NFC, the Panthers have hung tight with that they've matched up against. I mean, they beat Green Bay. They beat the Rams. So you got to give them respect. And the nice thing is, too, I mean, they beat Green Bay on the road, but they beat the Rams at home. I guess the 49ers they lost to. So that's, the one outlier that you could say. But the other ones they've taken care of. So it's like, we know this team can play with the elite teams, with the elite defenses. So give me the Panthers at home here. It obviously depends how the Miami game goes, but like this could be the game that clinches. I think even if they win this, like, I don't know. I mean, in the way I'm predicting it, the Panthers are technically clinching in this, but I think we might be watching if they lose this, or the Bucs win, whatever it is. I mean, it's going to be probably a winning get-in game for one of these teams, or would be technically both of these teams in Week 18. So that might be our primetime game. But I think Bryce can get it done here, man. And I do like their defense a lot in Carolina. Like, I think they're very underrated here. That JSN JC Horn matchup is going to be fireworks.
Yeah.
Because JC Horn, you could say, has been the best corner this year, with Surtain being injured, Sauce Gardner being injured, Jalen Johnson. Like, a lot of the top corners have been injured. And JC Horn has been a beast. So you could definitely make the case that he has been the best corner this year.
You can.
So I'm curious for that. I mean, if he's able to like even semi-shut down JSN, which is easier said than done. I mean, we've seen the past couple of weeks, he starts out slow, and then it's like end of the game, he's still got a touchdown and 100 yards. But if he's able to shut him down at all, I mean, shit. Like, it could really open up things. But this is going to be – Bryce has got to come out and show, like, hey, this is why I was picked, first overall. Go out and get your team a win here. Get it done, Bryce.
Are you not concerned about Kenneth Walker a little bit after that performance?
What did you say?
Are you not concerned about Kenneth Walker a little bit after that performance you just had?
Concerned in what sense?
That he's going to light up these boys on Carolina.
No. I mean, like, that's like saying like that. I think just teams, like, you'll see, like, he's a good back, I think, but I think he's just like very hot and cold. Like, they haven't been able to run the ball all year. So I think that's just worked out well, but I'm going to go off the history that, like, this team is not good at running the football. Like, majority of games they do struggle. Like, the week prior, he was 9 for 17, and prior to that, he was 10 for 29, 13 for 56. So, it's just like some weeks he'll go off. I mean, look at Ashton Genty. The talent's there, but, like, the majority of matchups, like, he's not going to go off. So, no, I'm not going to sit here and act like Seattle has just magically fixed their running game.
Okay, that's fair. I am going to take your Panthers to cover the 7.5 here. Right?
Hey,
I do think that 7.5 is disrespectful for the quality of this team. And we did just see Seattle win by 2 against a Phillip Rivers off the couch led Colts team. So I think a team like the Panthers fighting for their lives to make the playoffs, and the vibes riding off that with that big win over Tampa Bay, they can at least hang in there. I do think Seattle's going to ultimately get the win by roughly 3 points, very close, and I think it's going to be through the defense. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a huge interception by a Witherspoon or Reek Woolen or Love at the end of the game to really seal it for him. But for me, I just think it just feels right to have for the division Tampa Bay, Carolina in Week 18. You obviously are predicting that's not going to happen with the Bucs losing and the Panthers winning. Similar earlier when I am not predicting the AFC North battle in Week 18 between the Steelers and Ravens. So we're on opposite sides there. I just got to go with the talent of Seattle. I think at 12-3, they really have their eyes on the number 1 seed. They also played on Thursday, so you get a little bit more rest here. So I think they can get the win.
Fair.
All right. All right, moving on here. A game that we don't have to spend too much time on because both these teams are eliminated. The Arizona Cardinals at 3-12 travel to Cincinnati to play the 5-10 Bengals. Cincinnati's a 7-point favorite. The total, 53.5. Oh boy. Big Dog is licking his chops at this one. Of course, Cincinnati just had a big performance offensively against the Dolphins, hanging 45. Somehow Jamar Chase did not get in, even though Burrow threw 4 touchdowns. Beyond me. Last leg of a parlay I had. Still salty about it. And for Arizona, man, they lost a tough one by a touchdown to Atlanta and Kirk Cousins. So 5's not necessarily high in either building right now, but at least the Bengals are coming off a win. 7 points does feel like a lot given the state of both these defenses, though. What do you think here, brother?
I mean, I kind of went back and forth here. Ultimately, I did because I feel like this is going to be fireworks. Like everything says, like with how high powered these offenses are and how bad these defenses are, that there should be a lot of points in this one. I would think you got to have somebody in this one in big dogs on either side of the ball. I mean, the over-under is 53.5. I am going to take the Cardinals to cover. I will take the Bengals to win just because I think both defenses are so trash that it's just hard to think either team's going to like run away with this completely. But I do think the Bengals at home and on paper are the better team. But I think just with how bad that defense is, the Cardinals can hang around. But I think, Mike Wilson or Trey McBride's got to be definitely in play in this one of the two in big dogs. Maybe throw in Trey McBride. Come on now. What are you, fucking anti-tight ends?
I already have my eyes on Trey McBride because the Bengals are the worst team in the league at covering tight ends. So this is, if you got Trey McBride in your fantasy championship, anything less than 25 points, you should be disappointed because this guy should absolutely feast in this one, which is why I'm taking the Cardinals to cover 7 points. They're still going to lose. I got to think just the quarterback matchup of Joe Burrow, Jacoby Brissett, who, by the way, Jacoby Brissett has played awesome football since he became the starter. So no shade at him, but being at home, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, I mean, I just don't know how the Arizona Cardinals are going to stop this Bengals offense. And Walter Nolan, their rookie, also exited what looked to be a pretty bad injury. So a little thin on the defensive line, too. Chase Brown coming up to 3-touchdown game. He could probably get going in this one as well. But to your point, the Bengals have the worst defense in the league for a reason. And, Jacoby Brissett is a vet. He ain't no rook like Quinn Ewers, so he should be able to hang more than 21 on this defense. I wouldn't be shocked if we got a 38-34 barn burner. And if nothing else, this is stupid fun for your bet slips and your fantasy football championships.
Yeah, I'm curious, too. Just speaking on the Cardinals, do we think Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter next year? You got to think they're done with Kyler. So do you think there's a world where he's the starting quarterback next year? Or do you think they draft somebody? Or, is he a starting quarterback for somebody? Because it's I know it's a lot of garbage time, but, to me, he's passing the eye test that, somebody's going to bring him in to either be a bridge quarterback or their starter next year.
If I'm Arizona, I'm keeping Brissett. I'm sure
somebody.
They want a quarterback. That's another team that has their hat in the ring to potentially move up for one of these, probably 2 quarterbacks in Mendoza or Dante Moore from Oregon. So you have the Jets, you have the Browns, maybe. You have the Cardinals. You have the Rams, maybe, because they have 2 first-round picks, and with Stafford getting old, that's a potential opportunity. But Atlanta's winning games now, so it feels like they're almost too far away, right? So it could be Arizona, the Jets, gunning up for a quarterback. So, but even if they do go up and get a quarterback, Brissett's a guy you want in the building to be around him, similar to Jameis Winston with Jackson Dart, right? So I think that'd be smart because then you don't even have to put the kid out there right away if you don't feel like he's ready, like what the Saints did with Shuck. So I think it'd be smart. Keep him in there. But if he goes somewhere else, he could totally be a bridge for a year. Totally. The way he's played this season, he's definitely earned that opportunity to compete for a starting job for a team that gets left out of the quarterback musical chairs potentially.
Yeah. No, it'll definitely.
Oh,
it's
my
definitely
God.
Intriguing.
Pittman, dude. It's the wheel anytime is just automatic.
Yes.
The wheel anytime.
Him
fuck.
With,
it's Pierce again. Oh.
Are you serious, bro?
Oh, I thought it was Pittman. It was Pierce again. Oh, it was
Bro.
PI in the offense. Don't worry. It didn't count anyways. Oh, nope. Sorry. PI in the defense. It did count.
Apparently, it's just the Alex Pierce Cook game.
You know, it's Alec Pierce, right?
Yeah, Alec.
Not Al. You said Alex. You always say Alex. I'm just like
Alec Pierce.
All right, let's move on, man. This game matters a lot to me. Might not matter a lot for most of you. It matters to me. The Toilet Bowl. Raiders, Giants. Two teams, 2-13 in Vegas. The Raiders are a 1.5 favorite with a total 41.5. I'm taking the Raiders because, God damn it, my Giants need the #1 overall pick so freaking bad to give us a Bryce Young to the Panthers kind of haul to rejuvenate this team, get us an infusion of talent, more first-round picks. Give me the Raiders. That is why I'm taking the Raiders. No explanation needed. Besides, maybe I'll give you this. Master Genty, best game of his career last week, over 200 all-purpose yards. The Giants' defense is fucking awful. It is bad. And particularly against the run. The only team worse against the run is the Cincinnati Bengals. So, Ashton Genty, hey, if you took him in fantasy, assuming not dynasty, redraft, not the highest chance that you're in the finals because you used an early pick on him. But if you are, shit, that semifinals performance and this potential finals performance could make it all worth it.
Fair. Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders as well. I'm pretty inspired from what I saw last week. Like, they're still fighting. The Giants just seem like they're rolling over right now. Like, there's not a whole lot.
Dayball, the offense has been so bad.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to take away as of recent. It's definitely not the same Giants team. You know, I don't love the vibes I'm getting from there. I don't love the vibes I'm getting from the Raiders either, but I think it comes down to the Raiders are at home in this one. You know, I agree with you. I think Genty will ball out in this one. I think it's a good game script for him. And I still think Geno is competent enough that like him and Bowers could really, you know, pull apart this defense. But Geno is definitely, you know, a lot of it, like Geno's a very interested underdog. If you do any like underdog or DFS, I think he's a very viable play this week. I think there's a great matchup for him. But give me the Raiders in this one. Ugly game. But
another thing, Reagan. This is the most important thing. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Andrew Thomas, the star left tackle for the Giants, left with a hamstring on Sunday. Do yourself a favor. I don't have the exact thing in my brain, but I've seen the stat over and over, rinse and repeat every time Andrew Thomas gets hurt. Do yourself a favor and look up the Giants' record with and without Andrew Thomas since the start of like 2022. It is insane. If they don't have Andrew Thomas, they do not win football games. Does not happen. The offensive line as a unit falls apart. So with no Andrew Thomas and the center, John Michael Schmitz, who's had a little bit of a rejuvenation this year after being pretty trash, he also hurt his hand and he left the game. So he might be out.
Oh, great.
If the offensive line is that beat up, why would they put Max Crosby over Illuminor? Line him up over Marcus Bowe, the rookie, and let Max Crosby do his thing because no rookie's going to be able to handle him. So
No, definitely not.
That gives me more confidence with the Raiders. And I'm rooting for this so fucking hard. It's unbelievable. Like, I've never rooted against my team, and I'm doing it because we want the #1 overall pick so bad.
You want Mendoza?
No. Trade it, dude. We need that ammo. We need your Jets to give us 3 first, brother.
Dude, I don't think they would. I don't know, because if the Jets have like the second or third pick, I don't think they're going to like, how much do you have to give up to move up 2 spots?
Well, it depends, because what if Arizona is at 5 and they're like, well, we'll give you a first and
I feel like
we'll
at
give
that
you 2
point,
firsts and a second. And they're like, well, the Jets, you got beat, because the Giants don't care if they're 3 or 5, like with their position.
Yeah. I mean, I would think at that point, like I guess if you're 2, you're okay, because you could just be like, yeah, we'll just take whatever one doesn't go.
But if it's the Raiders that are 2,
yeah,
you know, it all
which
depends.
The Raiders wouldn't be unless the Giants win this one.
So then that's another team that could move up for a quarterback, though, and another team competing, right? Because if the Titans are 2, then it's totally different than who wants to give up the most ammunition to go get your choice of the quarterback at 1.
Yeah.
So it gets very dicey. All right, let's talk about the game that actually really matters for postseason purposes, and that's the Eagles at 10-5, traveling to Buffalo to play the 11-4 Bills. Eagles right back on track, man. We said it 2 weeks ago. Get right game for them. And then they got the Commanders, and a little sluggish in the first half, but they ended up getting the win. A.J. Brown had a really good game. Barkley back over 100 yards. He loves playing against the Commanders. Jalen Hurts looked good. Defense showed up. But now you got Buffalo, and you're 2.5-point dogs on the road with a total of 43 and And the Bills, I mean, have been playing some good ball too, although it was a dogfight with the Browns, no pun intended, 23-20 this past Sunday. Who do you got here, man? You believe in those Eagles, or you going to go with the Bills?
No, I am going to go with the Eagles here. They're playing some good football now. Like, I feel like when the Eagles are hot, they're hot, and when they're cold, they're cold. And right now, the Eagles are hot. They're definitely bouncing back. The offense has been playing a lot better. I know that a little streaky in that first half, but then they kind of came alive in the second half. So I really like what I'm seeing from Philly's offense. The defense still playing pretty solid as well. So I just think they're the more complete team. So yeah, I do think they're going to go into Buffalo and get the win here. I mean, you could really make a ton of cases for both sides. They're both very stacked rosters, but I just like the way Philly's playing right now. Not that Buffalo's playing bad. Like, Buffalo's playing some great football too. Obviously last week against the Browns, you'd like to see them dominate that one and not let them hang around, but still, you could make the same case for Philly. Like with the Commanders, they kind of let them hang around for a while, and ultimately they won. But, if Mariota played the whole time, is it a closer game? Most likely, yes.
So for this one, my thought process was I'm going to go with the home team. If this game was in Philly, I would have taken the Eagles. It's in Buffalo. I'll go with the Bills in Buffalo as 2.5-point favorites here. The key to this game is going to be Saquon Barkley for Philadelphia and how well the Bills can contain him. The Bills are the third worst rushing defense in the league. However, they're the second best passing defense. So I know A.J. Brown has kind of had a resurgence the past month or so, and they're getting him the ball.
Yes,
Devontae Smith will show up and have his games. Goddard, a little bit more quiet against the Commanders, did catch a touchdown, but the 2 games prior, he was on fire. So Hurts is really finding his groove a bit. I'm curious to see how he matches up with this one, but for me, if the Eagles are going to win, it's going to have to be Barkley, another big game, over 100 yards. And, of course, they're going to have to get after Josh Allen. Keon Coleman was another healthy scratch this past Sunday, so honestly, it seems like his time in Buffalo might be coming to an end. They might move on. They don't want, clearly he's not doing what he needs to do behind closed doors for that team. So it's going to have to be James Cook and Josh Allen here, man, because you really can't have faith in many of these weapons for Buffalo. I know Shakir can have his moments. I know Dawson Knox has kind of come along pretty nicely this year, but yeah, I'm just going to take the home team in the Bills. I completely acknowledge that the Eagles defense has been playing really freaking good ball, but they are also another team that's much better through the air. So I think James Cook and Josh Allen can get going, make enough plays with their legs to get a close win. It might even be a come from behind fourth quarter down by 10. Like, don't turn your TV off, because we've seen the Bills do that a handful of times this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the game to watch. I don't think with there being 2 games, I think you're not.
I'm watching Giants Raiders, dog. I need that first pick. But anyone else, if you're not Giants Raiders fan, no one's watching it.
I'll have Red Zone on because they're going to show the majority of the other one. But
that's right. They're going to show both. That commercial, you can at least watch the other game.
Yeah, exactly.
The toilet bowl.
But that's going to be the Giants Raiders for the most part.
All right, Sunday Night Football, man. We got a fun one. Damn. Bears at 11-4 travel to the 10-4 in play right now. San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are 3-point favorites, and I'm seeing a total here, Reagan, of 50.5. So you mentioned that earlier. That's a very high total, and it should be a really, really fun game to determine potentially seeding within the NFC. Potentially, Niners would need some help, but potentially. But what do you think here, man? I know you've been riding them with the Bears and that hot hand with Caleb Williams.
I'm going to ride with the Bears, actually, in this one. I really like the kind of football they're playing right now. Not that I don't like the way the Niners are playing right now, but I am going to go with the Bears. Similar to the last matchup, like, you can kind of say a bunch of stats to back up either team. I mean, both offenses have been really good, but right now, and what variation we're getting, I like the Bears defense slightly more than the Niners, so that's kind of where I gave them the nod. Even as we're speaking, like, Phillip Rivers is kind of like lighting up this Niners defense right now.
He is.
Me, and that to me kind of shows you that, like, Robert Saleh going to be a popular name for the head coaching jobs, but losing all those all pros, it's hard to, as you switch your pick.
I switched. Yeah, I switched.
Because of the Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, no, as I'm watching this, I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm starting Caleb Williams in a fantasy championship on primetime And I'm watching old man Phillip Rivers dice up this defense, and I'm going to go against that. I don't think so.
I understand, like, the Niners offense is one of the best in the league, like, when healthy, which right now, I mean, they've been playing like one of the best, but it's just ultimately, like, this defense has me a little nervous. So that's kind of where I gave the Bears the nod.
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
And the Niners were my preseason team to come out of the NFC. So, I still think they're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Bears get them in this one.
Yeah, and you know what, too, kind of swayed me. So, of course, as I just said, like, I'm watching old man Phillip Rivers sling that thing around the yard to Alec Pierce, and I'm slightly concerned. You look at the underlying defensive metrics for both these teams. Niners been without their guys for most of the season, but they've gotten weaker. The Bears defense underlying metrics does not look good, but they've gotten stronger with the return of Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, that secondary. So for me, I'm going to give the nod to that. And of course, Caleb Williams, light these boys up and win me a fantasy championship on Sunday night.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, man. The last game on the docket, Monday Night Football, to determine a lot of fantasy championships. And it's the Rams at 11-4 playing the 6-9 Atlanta Falcons. Rams 7.5-point favorites. The total 49.5. So in our playoff championship for the belt matchup, you are going to have Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford
and Kyren
Williams.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson on Atlanta.
Wow.
So it should be fireworks. Monday Night Football determine the champ.
Yeah, I like my guys more.
Well, I'll already be up by 50, so Bijan and Pitts will be able to hold down the fort.
Not if Puka drops a 50 bomb again.
Hey, I don't know, man. AJ Terrell's not a bad corner. I'm hoping he can do something against Puka. Just let him have 100 yards, but not get in the end zone. I'm content.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I actually have Atlanta covering in this one. I have the Rams winning. I like what I've seen from Atlanta recently. They're playing, the past 2 weeks, playing some good football. Kirk Cousins, you got to think, well, he's not going to be the long-term answer for the Falcons. He's auditioning for all these other teams to go and trade for him in the offseason. And right now he still looks like he belongs as a starter in the league. Like, he's been playing some solid football, and he's been very good on prime time in recent years. So I think Atlanta's got a chip on their shoulder right now. Like, it's a lost season, but they got a lot of young guys that are playing hard still. And 7.5 points is a lot for an Atlanta team that I don't think is bad. Like, it's littered with first-round picks, and on the defensive side of the ball, like, they got some good young talent. So I think they're better than their record shows. So I think 7.5 is a disrespectful line. I'll take them to cover. Ultimately, I think the Rams will get it done because they are the better team, but I think Kirk Cousins will keep them in this game.
Yeah, I actually agree with you 100%. I'm going to take the Falcons to cover, the Rams to win. They are the better team. They're playing for something, but there is something to be said about how this Atlanta defense and these young guys have kind of gelled and progressed throughout the season. And I don't think they're the same team that they were at the beginning of the season. Granted, 6-9 is never good. And shit, the fact that the Rams have the Falcons pick adds a little bit more juice to them here. They want to help out their draft pick more, despite needing to win to have a chance to get the number 1 seed after losing to Seattle. So there's extra juice there for the Rams, which I ultimately think that they'll win the game. But they are on the road. The Falcons play much better at home at Atlanta, so at Mercedes-Benz, which is a beautiful stadium. And so, let's be honest, vibes are kind of high, dude. Kyle Pitts has been scorching hot the last couple weeks. Bijan's been scorching hot. They're shouting each other out on social media. They're having fun.
I wonder what they'll do with that, if they're going to bring him back or if somebody else will sign him. I mean, regardless, he's going to get a nice contract to the way he's played the past couple games.
For sure. He's earned it. I think ultimately he'll probably want to stay in Atlanta, and I think with the way he's played and how he fits in this offense, they'll bring him back. But, hey, for all we know, it might be a new regime in Atlanta, and they might have different ideas. So, I don't know. If he shakes away, I think he'd be a good fit for a lot of teams with that skill set, and now seems like he's being properly utilized. So, great to see. But I just think the way this Falcons offense has been scorching hot with Kirk Cousins, and he's shown something. Granted, it's primetime Kirk O'Chain, so we could see a total freaking dud out of him. And I absolutely hope not, because I need Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson to get cooking through the air to beat your ass for the belt. So that's why I'll take the Falcons to cover, but the Rams are just a much better team. I think they'll get the win at the end of the day.
Yeah. I wouldn't talk too much shit, buddy. If you can't back it up, I back up my shit talking.
Hey, I'm not talking shit,
25
brother.
straight wins, 25 straight wins, 2 straight rings.
To this matchup. I'm looking forward to this matchup to quiet you up and to have the bragging rights. It's gonna feel
kind of
really
need
good,
to. You need it a lot more than I do.
Yeah, dude, I fucking need it. I
do.
absolutely need it, man. I built a great team, and it's been frustrating not have a belt. So here we go. Yeah. It's my opportunity. We're coming, and we're gonna fucking get that win. And hey, we thank all of you for tuning in to our Week 17/Week 16 recap, Week 17 predictions. A lot of ball. It's a great time of year. Hopefully you're listening to us, doing well in your fantasy football matchups, getting that chip. Drop a comment. Let us know if you need help with your lineups. We live for it. We live for fantasy football. It's the best.
Stay tuned. We're going to have the parlay, too, and a lot of social media content coming out for all these games. A lot of wheel spins, 2 big dog videos, a couple different parlays, so make sure you stay tuned. Come on.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Come on now. But I think that's all we got. Let's get out of here, my man.